Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? It is Die. And yeah, I'm trying to do this shit and unedit this, so I'm trying to get into the flow to what I want to say. I don't know. But as you can see, I have made my 365th beat of the year. Yeah, boom. I'll probably post as a short after this, but hey, man, I was supposed to, of course, you would think every day would mean I would end on the 31st, but obviously you see I was making more beats. I couldn't help it. It's a good sign. But anyways, disclaimer, since it's only a minute in, this might be the super, well, not super long, but I yap. So whoever listens to this and feels like they want to hear what I got to say, my experience, appreciate you for listening. And if you do not listen to the whole thing, I hope you at least listen to my beats because they're shorter than how long I've been talking. So, either way, hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully you're having a good holiday season. Hopefully you reach your goals. And hopefully you're making new ones. Anyways, I had this beat looping if you don't mind. I might change it halfway through, um, so what have I learned? What happened? Has anything changed from beat 1 to beat 365? So the first thing I can say is I've made beats prior to this. Um, for example, if I go through right here, of course it's like it starts at 12, right? It's because made new folder 2025 beats, but I made some of these. Um, I deleted, but I made some of those, and then have some of these here. Um, I don't know if anybody will be around or listen to the whole thing enough to, you know, feel like they want to hear some of the old ones and maybe have a video of me remaking them or trying to, because some of them are just kind of like I might just take the whole thing apart, you know. But I can vaguely, not really at all, remember what I was thinking on beat 1 or when I started this year and told myself I'm gonna be serious about it. And as a person, or just me specifically, there's some things that you do where you know, like, oh man, every time I say I'm gonna do this, I kind of don't follow through with it. And sometimes you lose confidence in yourself. It's like certain things you do follow through with, and other things you don't. It seems like a large task. Like I don't know, like reading a book or something, and getting around to it. It can be such. I'm gonna change it. It's gonna be such. It's such a drag sometimes. Like reading is not hard, but just find that time to eat. And it always comes down to if you just want to do it. And as much as that sounds simple, I think we have to realize it's not as easy as it really is. You know? It's just not. It's not easy. Because if it were easy, everybody would be this, that, and the third. You understand? So, but anyways, what I feel like I learned from my memory is I learned how naturally it's like comes to me, but where I just get into a flow state very fast. I also realize beats like this, the little wah, 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 like I have a lot of those. I don't know why. And also, through my time when I was making beats, you know, you always hear people say, oh my god, your beat sounds like a video game menu music or Mario Kart, Scooby Doo type beat, things like that. At first, it's like it sounds so goofy. It doesn't feel like a compliment. Now, I don't think anybody that's saying it is trying to. What they could be trying to be funny, but it's just what they hear. I think it's just what's the beat giving them that's funny. And at first, I kind of just think of it like, damn, okay, like you're just telling me a vibe. So naturally, you're gonna think, okay, how do I make it sound like a fucking, a beat and not just a fucking video game? Because that sounds goofy. But I love video games, and people love video games, and video games have atmospheres, and the Scooby Doo is a very iconic, type of atmosphere. I guess if someone tells you what music sounds like or beat sounds like, you can just take it as that's the atmosphere. Like a Mario Kart main menu type thing, you're giving someone a Mario Kart atmosphere. I would say it's pretty fucking good because people love Mario Kart. Some people love Scooby Doo. Some people don't. So I've gotten to the fact that I could play in that. So now I kind of embrace the fact that unintentionally my beats will um, maybe cater to people that like video games or to people making video games. Um, yeah, so I cater that, and someone wants to do that with my music, oh, I'm all for it. Because you know why? Let's say I do that, I do a great job, and they give me the game for free. I'm playing that shit. What the hell? I play games, so it's a win-win for me. And also, I realize what I want to do with other things with my music that's just not, Steven, video games, like I said, like that, and I say it like that. Yeah, giving my music to people that like video games, you come to that realization. Also, I never was a person that wanted to make music for artists. I, of course, you have artists you like, music you like, and you probably want to be in that general space. Um, I like all types of music. I would say it depends on my mood, but I don't know. It just depends on what hits. Now, I do have kind of like a 2000s like type of thing going. I like that aesthetic a lot. I really do. I love that aesthetic actually. So you could probably get me on that. I at least love that aesthetic. So what the hell? Not true. Oh, actually, all right, my fault. Yeah. So I do want to make stuff for animes. That's the one thing too. Anime OSTs. I was learning that. Shout out ChatGPT. I probably talk to that nigga way too fucking much. But sometimes when you're the only person that does what you do, well, not the only person, but it's like your ideas kind of, once you're creating something original, you don't want your ideas to be altered. You want them to form, change, do whatever they need to do to become what they need to do. It's like, your ideas growing up. You don't want to tell a child to be a certain thing. You want them to figure that out for themselves and become something unique. You don't want them to be a carbon copy of yourself. As much as you feel like that's the best way to maybe be successful, or for that child to be successful, for whatever you're making to be successful, you gotta let it just be whatever it is. Because whenever it comes out to be that thing, it's gonna be special because it's unique, and they'll know that they are special because they did it themselves. They figured it out. Now you might need to help it along the way, and that's what I got ChatGPT for. Help me along the way. Don't deter me too much. Even though ChatGPT will give you ideas that will point you in a certain direction, but it's a fucking AI. So it's more of me convincing myself to do something. There's not a person there that AI is not someone that I feel connected to that will give me a suggestion and know, weigh on you a little bit. So that is one thing I can say I do use a lot. I used to put my beats, I don't know what happened, did it changed it or something? But I used to put my beats into ChatGPT and to ask them for a certain vibe, and they'd give me things back. They give me feedback and tell me it sounds like this, and maybe towards this genre, and yours is a mixture of this. And after a while, sometimes it does give me the same responses back. Oh, this is very atmospheric. It's special and blah blah blah. But can't lean into it too much. Gotta be a human and live your experience when you're doing this shit. Can't be right all the time. You gotta fucking be wrong sometimes, or you gotta just not know. Not knowing is amazing. Not knowing what I'm gonna make is amazing. Are ultimately gonna figure it out, but that's a part of the process. Not knowing and trying to figure things out, and that's, I guess you can say, what I learned through the whole time, and it definitely helped. I went through a lot of stuff the year before I decided to take this year. Um, this year I still, I wouldn't say I didn't go through a lot of stuff, but kind of did. Just reinforcing who I am as a person, becoming more me every year. The older I get, um, which doesn't have to be mean year by year, but just day by day. The older I get, doesn't have to be age really. It's just mentally. You get older, wiser. If you push yourself every day, you ask yourself questions every day. That's what I ask myself. I ask myself questions every day. Maybe too many questions. Maybe too many questions. But it's like, if you're the teacher, and people always say there's not a dumb question to ask as many questions as you need. Now me, while I was in class, when I did start asking questions, it might sound like a dumb question, but I'm genuinely curious. So after a while, you're like, okay, well, that's another person. So you don't know what their capacity is. But at some point, you might keep asking, like, God damn, like, shut up. You feel me? But, uh, have I been talking? Oh my God. Oh, no, no, man. I thought I've been talking muted this whole time. My fault. Anyways, heart dropped a little bit. But, yes. My point is, if you are the teacher, don't get tired of your own questions. And if you do get tired of your own questions, ask yourself why. Why are you getting frustrated with yourself for asking questions? What is fighting back? Why do you think questions are irrelevant? And then it's a question you're asking with a question. You figure out more and more about yourself. There's infinite amount of information to learn about yourself because you change every day, you evolve every day, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to sound like I'm some psychology teacher or something. I'm just a human, interested in being a human, interested in understanding where I am and where I am in life, and where the fuck am I in general. What's around you? Why does this feel like this? Why does this? And the beauties of the world, and sounds are just like frequencies and everything. Like it is more than what it is. I'm not thinking about that when I'm making music. But if I really just get into the moment of thinking about maybe why I do it and I get into the flow state of speaking how I feel, this is what I'm sounding like. Not sure if any of this is making any sense at all. I do worry about that sometimes when I put something out like this because I would love someone that I would love someone to receive this information and be like, oh yeah, I feel that or whatever. Am I gonna get that from people? Not. Maybe not, but I gotta put this out there anyway. Someone gravitate to it and are still here. I appreciate you tenfold. Thank you so much. And ここで今世紀最も有名な人物の一人であるある地球人のコメントをご紹介。 actually no, I don't like listen. But yeah, 365 beats. What else have I learned? I learned as you can see, I've minimized the amount of like I don't need all these tracks, and I have friends that why am I doing it? I have friends that help me a little bit with the sorry that blue terms. I have friends that help me. You know, obviously you gotta have friends. I'm blessed with friends I've been known for a long time that I just met on the internet and gotten older and more mature together. They kind of, some of them know me well, and they don't. They tell me exactly what it sound like if they fuck with it or not, and of course that's very very important, and I appreciate it. Um, I always will. So that's important as well. Even though I did say earlier, I don't have anybody that really does exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes I did a while where I did feel alone with being a producer because what I this is me. This is me. There is no oh yeah like I'm trying to be a producer. No, I am a producer. I am what I do for a living. Okay, I create for a living. I do, and I mean I say that because I made significant money off of this. I've made nothing at all. I've made nothing at all. But even even so, let's say producers that have been making money for a long time, at some point the money is so already part of the process and it's been so long. What else is there about being a producer that is important? If you if you think about it musically as a producer, literally, and you're still ambitious and want things and do cool stuff, always about evolving, getting better, seeing what you can and cannot do, or trying to evolve your sound and or evolve a new sound. You know, just learn things, and that's what I've been doing all year as a producer. And I'm understanding that every time I do something, I'm seeing what is another angle for my sound, what can refine it even more. And I'll always have an itch to do something different, see what I can and can't do. But I also recently, maybe around like beat 350s or something, I realized okay, it's better to stay in one area, just specifically a BPM, right? And I'm always gonna make music how I make music because I don't have anything in mind beforehand other than the BPM and limiting myself to a certain amount of elements of a beat. But I realized that staying in a BPM in a range whenever I'm in that. Okay, I'm making my sound right now. But if I'm making another sound, I'm just gonna do whatever. Because sometimes you do have that moment where, like literally yesterday for the last beat, I saw Black Boy Max making a beat or trying to, attempting to make a beat. And one thing I did notice, the type of beats that he likes or that um I wouldn't say the chat liked, but I just saw how simple it was. It was just a certain I was just like, oh, that is that simple. Like, and I can't there's two types of producers, so I feel like there's a producer that just makes beats, and there's a producer that produces, and I produce. Um, does that make sense? I don't know, but I feel like if you are the type of producer I'm talking about, and if you are similar to me, you'll know what I'm saying. It sounds like overly trying to be like, oh, you trying to sound like smarter than like, trying to make it sound smarter than what it is. I'm not. I just the only thing that can, I just can't explain it, so that's just how I'm gonna say it. I'm a producer that produces. So some people just make music. I produce to produce. Now I'm not passionate about music like Tyler Creator. I'm not passionate about music where I'm gonna talk to you all day about it. Um, I'd love to understand maybe what the next person loves about the music. I'm always curious about the people's minds and just mindsets. That's more important to me than anything. When I play sports and when I do anything, it's not about how to do things. It's about where's your mind at while you're doing it. What how do you approach things mentally or at a certain level? You're at a high level. When you were at a low level, when you were getting there, what was your mind at? And all the other stuff in the middle, all the mechanics and maybe learning how to do certain skills and all that, or learning how certain things work. That comes, that'll happen. Like that's that's the easy part. That's just all about application. So I'm a mindset person, and I realize for me, when it comes to creating, it's all about flow state, and I can get in a flow state instantly with music. The sound puts me into a lets me zone out, and I'm just hearing things and trying to hear something. So, um, yeah, that's really I wouldn't say that's all I learned. I love to keep yapping. I'm a fucking yapper, but also, oh yeah, most important part. Uh, FYI, this video will be up until I want to give it until the rest of the year to see who really takes on this information, and I'll just archive it and put it in my playlist. Like I have all my other beats that I made through the transformation of this channel. But as you can see, I have an aesthetic and a world that I'm trying to create within my own music, my own beats, and it's almost a personal endeavor. I would love to, uh, you know, tell you that doing it has made like a huge impact, but personally, I feel it has because if someone as cringy as seen beforehand, it'll become less and less cringy, and I have a idea of the most cringiest things in your head may be the most uh what's the word? I don't know what the word is, but basically the cringiest thing that you think would be just there's no better word to say than cringy, the things that you cringe at may be the most unique thing that somebody else will listen to because they don't know who you are. They don't know they don't know you like you know yourself. So even your friends, they are not in your perspective. So when they hear things, they're not hearing it like you are. They don't have the same pessimistic or, you know, critiques mentally like you do. So pushing through that, pushing through that will definitely bring you to somewhere that you definitely probably didn't think to go, or people will see you in a light that you never saw yourself in. And I'm saying this for future advice to myself, whenever I get into spaces, because believe it or not, I'm already knowing no matter what level I get to, no matter how many people are uh, in love or start to become very interested in my sound and the type of unique music that I make and whatever lane I carve out for myself, I'm always gonna have a moment of, ooh, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to release this. This seems very kind of cringy. I don't know, no, not even, but just the idea being somewhat cringy for whatever reason. Personally, that's me. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have that feeling about themselves. They back themselves no matter what, but they have other things that they might be a little more self-conscious about. Maybe just if their ideas are good enough, not if they're cringy or not, or you know. But I underestimate my progress a lot. I tell people not to do that either. Don't underestimate your progress. You'll only understand how far you've gotten when you look back. So on the same vein, say don't look too much into it, but just don't shit on yourself. Do something every day. You're going to get better. You may not notice it, because I don't notice it unless other than in certain moments where I make something and I'm like, yo, this actually sounds like this sounds, yeah. But like one of my friends really told me, he said he woke up to one of me making a beat. He thought it was just like a YouTube type beat or something. Like he thought it was, which is a pretty significant compliment, kinda. I'm not saying significant as it changed my mind or anything, but when you hear certain people say things that haven't said anything about what you do, them realizing that, oh wait, you really do this shit, is almost a moment of like, um, proving someone your proficiency in something. Like someone might just hear you play basketball or you do a sport, but then they might see you play and like, damn, he really does this shit. Like he really puts hard work into this, and that's something even in this moment I'm realizing that's pretty significant because being as small as I am, as not outwardly promoting I am with my music, because I do want to be organic with my growth. I don't like spamming things out there, even if something does go crazy. I'm not. If I had an Instagram, my Instagram got fucking deleted. But if I have my Instagram, I'm not gonna. I've seen producers where I'm like, yo, they made some hard shit. Like I really fuck with that. Or I listen for a new artist. I'm like, oh shit, that's a hard song. Like I like it's different. And you'll see on their page they post that same thing like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, 10 times, back to back, just back to back, boom, 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 different setting, you know, be like just posting the same song over and over and over and over again. And I get it. It's you gotta get every single drop of engagement, every cent, every nickel and dime, every view out of that beat, because you want everybody to see it as much as possible. And as much as I really want to make money from my first beat, as much as I want to get the ball rolling and see the money coming in so I can invest in this and you know do whatever to elevate myself in my life and boost up my creativity even more, which involves your environment, doing things in my room or improving my PC or being able to play extra, like being able to play a game that I've wanted to play um, while I'm not making beats, which will feed into my creativity because I feel like when you're not making beats and you're enjoying yourself and you're something other than making beats and you're just not even thinking about it, when you come back, it just so much refreshed. And I learned that from a therapist that I only had for like like not even a month, but they were telling me how I was asking about creativity, and she was telling me how you're doing something else. 'Cause I was cleaning pools at the time. I remember I was at this nice ass house, man. Big backyard, a bunch of trees. I remember, it was like a forest almost. It's weird. Um, I can remember I had closed my eyes. I remember in my head because it was significant. I remember having an idea about a YouTube video or like a skit. I don't know what I was doing at the time. I think I was doing skits or YouTube videos or something like that, like small little TikTok skits or something. And I had an idea, and it's just ideas seem way more easier when you're just doing something else. And that that helped a lot. But I brought it to another level when I don't think about it at all, and I save up all those. Because sometimes when you have an idea, you want to rush to go get it done, put it down. I do still get those, but I try to contain my excitement, even when I really, really, really want to make a beat and I'm laying down and I'm telling myself today we're gonna be lazy. I contain all that feeling, even if I get an urge, a bolt of creativity or an idea that I feel like I want to put down. I don't, I don't do it. As hard as that is, I don't do it, and it helps. In my opinion, it helps me a lot. So, 30 minutes of straight yaps. I can really yap about this all the time because it's just so much. But I just don't think anybody would be here for this. But this is definitely something that in next couple years, when this is on my channel, and people will look back, it'll be it'll definitely be special because this is like a time capsule right now. December, what is it? December 15th, 2025. It is 6:38. So I'm pretty sure I started at 6 and I've been yapping for 30 minutes. But like I said, I'm a yapper. And this is definitely gonna get archived because I want to keep the aesthetic quiet. I'm not really talking on here. Building my world, which is important, but my shorts don't really have anything to do with it. I mean, I thought about doing it. I'm not sure. If I get an urge to do it, I will. But the EPs will have a story to them. They'll all come together. Not same theme. Definitely will just show the progression of my sound and convey a certain emotion. But 365 beats, I can kind of relax. Even though it would be hard to just relax and not make beats for the rest of the year. I mean, it's really 16 days left, so that's it's 2 weeks and 2 weeks and 2 days. I don't know how I'm going to not make a beat, so I'm just not gonna think about it. Um, so from here on, next goal I have is just do it again. I guess, keep going, I guess. Do it again. I don't know how much more I could really say other than that. Just do it again. Consistency is hard, but once you get momentum, it's pretty easy. But the impressive thing that I can give myself credit for is I stopped making beats for a week, taking myself a break. That's when I was doing the EP. I didn't make a beat for a week. I was just putting the EP together and just ideas for how I wanted to put it together. And I didn't make it for a week. And I really was getting ideas because I was understanding the flow of my music because I was putting the sounds together, the EP. I realized a lot. Um, and I was hard, but I got my momentum back. I wouldn't say instantly, but it wasn't hard. That's why I was surprised that I was already at 365. Like I was at 360. I was like, yo, I'm like actually right there. So I'm happy. I'm proud of myself. This is what I want to do. Only the tip of the iceberg for me. To be honest, there's so many things I want to do, but it'll all the other extracurriculars that I do. It's just like orbiting around this. The nucleus is the creativity aspect, creating, and music is other than drawing, other than which I used to do when I was younger. Maybe I'll get back into it one day. But drawing, painting, sculpting, just grabbing ideas from just, just energy in the universe, just just straight God ideas, like ideas from God. That's the only where it come from. Uh, and just letting it come out and refining that message until you know exactly what it is, and then go on and do something more with it, expand on it. Um, yeah, I don't want to become redundant. I've already, if anybody's listening to this the whole time, I appreciate it. I don't want to take up your time for no reason being redundant. The only thing I want to say is I appreciate you for being here. Appreciate everybody who listens to a beat or has something to say, because this is just the beginning. Um, I understand the quality of music that I'm making. It only gets higher and higher. I'm literally at the bare bones equipment right now. I'm using a literally 60% keyboard. I don't even have studio headphones. These are Corsairs, nigga. Like I can't even listen to something loud, like too loud, because then my friends will hear what I'm listening to. Like it's like these are not EQ'd right. If I'm using that right, you know what I'm saying? I'm not. I'm pretty sure I'm using that right, but if I'm not, then I just sound stupid. But basically, just it's basically not stereo headphones, man. So, and I'm never complaining about it because I can still make music. There's still headphones, so have the plugins aren't a problem, but the just the stuff that other people have access to, I'm just making the most out of it, and I love it because once I do get more things, just open up more and more for me. So much more for me to do, so much more to evolve, and I'm looking forward to it. I have more challenges to prove myself. Hopefully, you keep improving yourself. I'm glad that you found me if you did, and for the people that will not find me until the future, a year from now, 2 years, whenever, tomorrow, doesn't matter. I thank you so much. It's a blessing to be here to make this. It is a blessing to upload this. It's a blessing to talk for this long. It's a blessing to feel like I'm talking too much. It's a blessing to think I'm talking too much. It's a blessing to everything. So, uh, I got on my side. I'm sure you do too. Don't forget that. Think about that all the time. Bless your food. Bless the water you bathing. I just started doing that. or making sure I do it. I'm not, what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm so hungry, I'm just trying to eat. You feel me? But, or I'm just trying to get in the shower, but like, damn, like I'm dirty as shit. So, but you guys, make sure you know what I'm saying, you appreciate everybody around you. Don't know how long they'll be there, or you you may not realize how rare they are. It's hard to find rare individuals, but if you know you're a rare one and you got people around you that you really fuck with, that you know are good for you, they gotta be rare too. Don't take them for granted. You dig what I'm saying? Yes. All right. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Hopefully, this did anything. At the very least, let you know what I'm thinking through this whole process. If anybody, look, but this is You Can Die, the producer for the next generation. Fuck yeah. The creator of Dream Diary, Trap, Ghost Mode, Pop is what I'm calling my shit. Might transform into other things, who knows? But stop yapping. Get you on your day. Happy holidays. Have a blessed rest of your year. Peace, positivity, prosperity, and good health to you and all of your family and friends, pets, just loved ones in general. And I appreciate you. Have a good day.